like I said, the central focus for March for you, Leo, is satisfaction. Nine of Cups. Cups represent emotion. They represent the water element. And this is sort of like having a full wine cellar. The choice is yours. You can drink from any cup. And it means having more than enough. You can see here he's kind of got this look like he's eaten a full meal. He's just feasted at the buffet. And it's just a card of satisfaction. Sometimes it's called wish fulfillment. So some of you may just be feeling like your wishes are fulfilled, that you're feeling emotionally full. The one, usually this is just a very positive card. The one warning with this card is to not go overboard. Sometimes there's a tendency to overeat or overdrink or just, take things into excess. But I actually just see for March, Leo, that this is just a really positive card for you. I just see this as you smiling and happy. So enjoy that, Leo. This has got all that golden Leo energy up here with all this yellow as well. What I see here, now I think some of these cards showed up for one of the other signs, so it's interesting. But what I see in shadow is Hermit in the upright position. So this shadow card is usually what is not available to us in our conscious mind, usually something that we're not seeing or is below the surface or in delay, something that's in shadow. And this is Hermit. So when Hermit comes up, I usually try to ask two questions. How does it relate to truth or seeking the truth? How does it relate to isolating yourself or feeling isolation? One of the things that Hermit does is he separates himself off from the rest of the world to strip everything else away, strip away everything from the outside world. He doesn't care about politics. He doesn't care about gossip. He doesn't care about TV. He doesn't care about, all the trappings that normal life, we fall into. So what he usually does is he sequesters himself away from the rest of the world, the worldly part of the world, in order to seek truth and in order to find out what the truth is with a capital T. So when this is in shadow, I want to ask, Leo, is there some sort of part of the truth that you feel is in delay or in shadow, or that you've taken a break from seeking the truth? Or is there a part of feeling isolated that is in shadow? Is there some part of your psyche or something that feels like it's just the hermit side of you that is in shadow? Maybe some of you are truth seeker, guru, studious, disciplined types. Those are all archetypes for the hermit. But that might just be in shadow right now. That might just be in delay or on pause, or that might just be taking a time out, because that's what's not being available to you right now. That is not, you might not be getting a lot of alone time, your reflective time, and that's okay. It's just, that's what's showing up as in shadow. It just might be in delay, a little bit under the surface. It's still here. It's not like it's gone away, but it's just, kind of parking for the moment. And then what's passing away is Six of Cups in reverse. And I like this position for this card in reverse. In the upright position, Six of Cups means it's sort of like childhood sweetness and kindness. It's sentimentality. It is, the innocence of children. It can mean looking back to the past, or a reunion with someone from the past. Sometimes someone from childhood can show up when this card shows up. And it's really just a sweet, tender, again, emotional, because it's cups, energy that's being exchanged between these two kids. In the reverse position, sometimes I read this as cynicism, because it's the opposite of innocence. Naivete is sometimes how this card can be read in the upright. So in the reverse position, sometimes I read it as cynicism or pettiness, or things that are the lower side of childlike activity, so the childlike sides of ourselves. I'm seeing this passing away for you, Leo. There might be some things from the past that you're letting go, some childhood experiences or childhood baggage or feelings of, any cynicism or feeling victimized as a child. This is like old stuff from the past that is passing away. You're letting go of it. If this is sweetness and innocence and kindness, and if this in the reverse is cynicism or pettiness or anything that has to do that is not, that is the lower side of children, I get the sense that you're letting that go. You're letting that sort of dissolve away. So I actually like this card in this position for you a lot, Leo. And then what I see approaching is big changes. Wow, Tower. Tower is a major arcana card, just like Hermit. So, and I also, by the way, can read this as soul searching. So you might actually be soul searching under the surface, Leo. There may be a certain way in which you are hermit in your subconscious mind, because this is in shadow. There may be a way that you're looking for some sort of direction or truth, but you're doing it in a subconscious way, not in a conscious way, but under the surface. You're doing this, holding up the light and looking at what is true with a capital T for me. And it's really the card of the discipline, the person who has, the disciple, the person who has discipline, the student. Sometimes it can have, spiritual overtones. So that's going on sort of under the surface. And then what's coming up for you, big change. Tower, the old structure is coming down. This is a big theme in the world right now. Where what was past is going to be crumbling away and new stuff is coming in. Usually the tower represents establishment. It represents like a fortress, something that is really been in place for a while and seems like it would never go away. But with these waves crashing up against it, this storm, fire, lightning bolts, it is challenging the tower and it is causing it to crumble. You can actually see people are jumping out of the windows. And this card, some people see this card as scary. I don't. I see it as, I use the image of like a hen or chick breaking out of an egg, because it's transforming the old. It's breaking apart the shell of the old so that the new can come forth. And the card that follows this in the tarot is Star, which is all about renewal and serenity, feeling like yourself again. So this is sort of like the final cleansing of the old system, tearing down the old structure, transformation. This is what comes before new life. So this is breaking out of any old shells that used to bind you or confine you. If you think about it, how like Rapunzel was stuck up in the tower, this is like her getting released from the tower. So looking ahead, this is what is approaching. Is big change. And sometimes this can be very sudden change, like out of nowhere. Like you didn't expect it or you didn't see it, but here it shows up. So if some of you have been wanting to break out of something, break out of a rut or change, do a big change from your past, this is a great card to serve you in that respect. And then highlighted is Seven of Swords in reverse. So what I get with Six of Swords, I don't know why I'm saying seven. With this, it's funny too, because you've got two sixes in reverse in this main spread. So sixes, and there's actually two sevens as well. It's all sixes and sevens. No, it's really, what it is, it's talking about this. Sometimes things have to change through disruption and chaos in order to find new order. When I look at numerology, I look at the progression from 4 to 5 to 6. 4 is stable, but it's the old way. It can be confining, like the tower. 5 transforms everything, as the tower card shows us. And then 6 is new order, new harmony, new, I think of it as the hive energy, like beehives. If you think about the hexagonal structure of beeswax, it's got 6 sides. So to me, it represents, your family, who you consider friends and family, who you consider your tribe, who you consider, within your group. So I see in some ways this childhood tribe, childhood definition of who you were passing away, and this approaching Six of Swords. This has to do with recovery and healing, by the way. And I'm really seeing for this month for you, Leo, that this is you rescuing yourself. There's really 3 ways that this card can be interpreted, which is I mean, I'm sure there's many more, but three general ways that I interpret, which is someone rescuing another, like you rescuing someone else rescuing you, or you rescuing yourself, taking yourself from a place of stormy seas and charged waters like we see here in Tower. I'm actually seeing the same water here in Tower, these stormy seas at the bottom of Tower, as the same water that is still sort of like churned up, and we see waves in it. And it's going away from that, Leo. Going away from the charged waters into smoother seas, smoother horizons. And this card, so it can be a card of literal travel, but I'm also seeing it's like the turbulence of the past is resolving, and then you're going towards a calmer horizon, calmer seas. You know, I see you just looking at the horizon and it being very peaceful and just seeing the clouds sort of sitting there. So real card of recovery and healing, perhaps also literal travel. But so those are featured for you. That's what's highlighted, real time of recovery and healing. But I also see it in reverse. So it may be that that's going to take longer than expected, or it's in delay. It's just under the surface. Because this is in reverse as well, I'm kind of getting the sense that as you let go of this stuff from the past, whatever was from childhood, whatever was an grievance, whatever seemed like, you know, whatever's attached to any cynicism or resentment, or, you know, just childhood baggage from childhood is what I'm going to say. As that goes, as that dissolves away, there's room for this to come in. So the reason I'm seeing this in reverse is, to me, attached to this being in reverse. And I see that as this dissolves, both of these approach, this big change approaches, and then the delay, or I'll say the suppression of this healing and recovery, can be turned around. And you get actually to sort of travel away from the past, take yourself to smoother seas, calmer horizons, a place of peace and healing and recovery. So that's what's highlighted for you for March, Leo. And it's really all surrounding this sense of great satisfaction and wishes fulfilled. So I'm really seeing March as a nice month for you, Leo. For the first week, I see Hangman in reverse. Now, this is actually the upright position of the card, like this, because he's hanging. And Hangman in the upright position usually means doing things your own unique way. It's being unconventional and getting comfortable in a unconventional position. It usually means marching to the beat of your own drum, not worrying about what anyone thinks, not feeling like you have to toe the line and participate in things that are conventional. It means like really honoring your own uniqueness and your own path and your own definitions, regardless of what society says or whatever anyone else thinks. When Hangman shows up in the reverse position, which is what it is showing up for week 1 of March, it tells me there might be a fear, a doubt, or a resistance to doing things your own unique way. So if there's any way in which you're getting caught up in what other people think, or feeling like you have to do things in a traditional way, or feeling any sort of pressures or worries about showing up as different, or any of that, let it go. Because in the upright position, he lets all that stuff go. And he doesn't care. He doesn't give 2 cents about what anyone else thinks. He doesn't worry about it. He doesn't even give it any time. He's comfortable in himself, and he's comfortable doing things his way. He honors himself with all his unique quirks and eccentricities, and all the things that actually make him special and make him who he is. So if you're feeling any of this, Leo, of feeling like wondering what other people are thinking, or considering the outside world before considering yourself, I'm going to invite you to just let all that go. and just get real comfortable in just being you. Usually that's not too big of a problem for you, Leos. You usually are pretty able to just be yourselves. But if there's any, any smidgens of like trying to keep up with the Joneses or worrying about other people's opinions, any outside influences, let that just like roll off your back, like water off a duck's back, because it's really, you are meant to be here as hangman, getting comfortable in your own skin, getting comfortable doing things your own way, and not really worrying at all about what anyone else is thinking, or their judgments of you. And then second week is Chariot in reverse. Chariot means, in the upright position, Chariot is another major arcana. So it's a card about victory and goals and decision making. What I always point out with Chariot is that he's got this balance between the white horse and the dark horse, which I usually interpret as left brain and right brain. So the logical, analytical, scientific side of ourselves, and then the more wild, free, creative, spontaneous side. So the reason that Chariot has success, the reason he crosses the finish line and that he represents victory, is that he's able to balance these two. And he's able to tap into his intuitive knowledge. That's what's represented by these crescent moons. Intuitively, he guides these horses, and he can make decisions on the fly, as changing circumstances come to him, and as the road changes before him. He knows whether to turn left or right, and therefore crosses the finish line. So when this is showing up in reverse, what it asks me is there any way that your intuitive decision-making is being hampered right now? Is there any way in which you're not trusting yourself to make the right decisions? Or in tandem with this card, is there any way that someone else or the opinions of others are influencing your decision-making? Because I know that you intuitively know the answer. That's what Chariot's about. And that's what this card is showing up for you, is that you actually do know the answer intuitively. This is decision-making from a gut level. But because it's in reverse, it's showing challenges to that, or it's showing you not trusting it. Like this is the chariot rider that's saying, oh, gosh, I just don't know if I should go left or right. I don't feel like I'm sure about it. Whereas this guy he's already going left or already going right because he's in the flow. He's in the zone. He's connected to his intuition. So I'm going to ask you for the second week of March, is there a way that you can connect better with your intuitive self, trusting both your analytical, rational mind and your intuitive, wild, free, creative side? Here's what I'm going to ask. Is this out of balance in any way? Are you leaning too much on the left brain, or are you leaning too much on the right brain? Do you need to bring some more order into your life? Or do you need to bring some more wildness, like some more passion, some more spontaneity, some more creativity? So ask yourself, is there any way in which this is out of whack? Is there any way in which it's unbalanced right now that is causing me to not achieve the goals that I want to achieve? Is there any way in which I'm allowing others to influence that instead of relying on my own intuitive knowledge? And is there any way that I can bring these things into balance so I can go where I want to go? That's what Chariot in reverse for the second week is saying to me, Leo. Third week of March, King of Cups showing up here in reverse. So King of Cups is usually the perfect partner, a perfect husband, or, he's a man of the heart. So this often typifies a water sign, which is Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But this could just also be someone who it comes from a compassionate place, someone who fulfills the archetype of King of Cups, which is a mature man, someone who is in touch with his feelings, someone who operates from the heart, considers the feelings of others. He's a compassionate, loving, tender person. And often I call this card like the father card, or, the perfect father or the perfect husband. He's the man of the heart. King of Hearts is also another name for him. So he's showing up. A focus around him could be happening around the third week of March. He may also be absent, or there may be something which is taking up a lot of his time King of Cups in the reverse position says that he might not be feeling 100% emotionally himself. He may not be feeling 100% himself. So if you're with a water sign or someone who is King of Cups archetype, he may not be showing up. He either may be absent, like having to go on a trip, like a business trip, or he just might not be feeling like 100% himself. So that's a focus. Or you also potentially might be missing the King of Cups in your life. So you might be saying, where is he? Why is King of Cups not showing up? This could be a lover, a father, a brother, a family member, a spouse. But something's going on with King of Cups the third week of March. This also potentially, Leo, if you identify with King of Cups energy, this could mean that you are feeling out of sorts, that you're not feeling fully yourself. You're not feeling emotionally, as master of your emotions third week of March. But I'm for most of you, I'm getting that it's your spouse, partner, or someone that you're connected to who's either absent or not themselves. But for some of you, it may be you. And then last week of March, I'm getting 7 of coins in reverse. This is the Farmer card. So in the upright position, this means stepping back and reevaluating something, assessing something, looking at the progress that you've made so far and making decisions about whether you want to continue on that same path. Like, for example, whether you want to continue planting the same crop, if you like the yields that it's getting you. Sometimes I call this card like a return on investment. Like you need to wait in order to harvest these. If you harvest them too soon, they're sour grapes. But if you need to wait until the harvest is ready to harvest this. So it's a good time to assess, are the actions that I'm taking and nurturing yielding the results that I want? Sometimes in the reverse position, it's saying that you may be having a hard time assessing things or evaluating things. You may be having some difficult times being patient of reaping a certain harvest or waiting for that money or that crop to come in. You might be wanting to harvest things now. And the lesson or message of this card is that you need to let the grapes ripen on the vine. If things happen too soon, if you harvest too soon, it won't be sweet. You'll literally get sour grapes, which you can't make any wine from. You can't enjoy the fruits of your labor or what it is that you've been patiently waiting for if it happens too soon. So a caution with this card being in reverse is saying you may need to kind of lean into being patient. It might not be easy, but there's a reason that things take their natural time. And this card is just a card of taking time out to reflect, taking time out to reassess any of your actions or your investment in things, what you think about, what you act on, any of that, so that you can decide if you want to continue doing plant the same crop again in the future or take a different direction.